simple story about bread and butter. Some people will eat the bread, but not the butter. They'll say, oh, the butter will make me very fat. And some people will say, well, it's not the butter that's the problem. It's actually that bread. It has gluten in it and it would make you very sick. And some people just love the bread and butter combination. I mean, there's nothing in the world that you can tell them that will stop them from eating their regular bread and butter for breakfast. And then some just avoid that bread and butter like a plague. It's not healthy food, please. Don't bring that don't bring that near me. You see, it really doesn't matter where you belong on this bread and butter story. It's not a competition. There are no prizes to be won. There are no awards to present to you. There's no right or wrong. Because what works for you may be poison for me. You see, that bread, it might work for you. And the butter might be bad for me. And that's the simple story of our lives. Now, no two people on this planet can see things the exact same way, not even identical twins. So why should I convince you to like butter if you actually prefer bread alone? And why should I insist that you try both the bread and butter if you'd rather not try any? I've often said it's a pointless exercise trying to get anyone to reason with you, trying to convince them about your own ideas. And it's even more pointless trying to argue with them about something, because the very thing that we call reasoning is based on our nature, our individual nature, our personal character, our experiences, our orientation, your level of comprehension, and just your own unique way of viewing reality. And all this will be different from mine. Why would you be able to reason with me? You can't. You will always see it differently, even if we're standing together, holding hands, side by side, viewing the same thing at the same time. It will be like clouds. When you look at it, I will see a poppy, the shape of a poppy in there. You will look at it and say, I see a rose. And we're both looking at the same cloud, because our presumed reality is always influenced by the sum total of all our experiences. If at the age of 7, you got a purple bike for your birthday and that left a wonderful impression on you, it's more than likely that today, even at the age of 40-something, purple will still be your favorite color. And you won't even know why. They ask you, why purple? You say, I just love purple. And if at age 10, for instance, you saw a snake as you were walking through the bushes, if I ask you to walk with me into the woods, even now as an adult, you'll still be a little bit scared that a snake might jump out and get you any minute. Now, I didn't have that snake experience. So I'm there wondering, like, why so scared about the woods? I'm telling you, stop being a baby. Come on, let's go. Let's go for a walk in the woods. And I cannot understand or comprehend why you will be scared to go into the woods, because it didn't leave any impression on me. I didn't have the experience. And because you haven't dealt with that experience. And so every time something reminds you of it, it regurgitates. And you're back to being that 10-year-old that you were. And that is just this earth life, let alone experiences that we've all had from our past lives. Past lives that then manifest as phobias and allergies and intense fear. So how can I see reality from your point of view? I can't. It's your reality that you've experienced. And it shapes your mind, your ideas, your outlook towards life. And no one can change that but you. And so I'm learning that we have to be more tolerant of each other when it comes to imposing ourselves, imposing our lives, our views, our beliefs. Because as we share our experiences, we have to be mindful that each one will understand it differently based on their nature. Each person is unique in themselves, and compassion is what we need when we're dealing with each other. Compassion is saying, you know what? If I had the same experience as you did when you were 10 with that snake, and it was so traumatic for me, and I never actually dealt with it, and it left that impression on me, I'll probably behave the same way as you do. I might even be worse. And this is different from condoning bad behavior. And it's also different from using our past experiences as an excuse to become mean human beings. But showing compassion means not being judgmental and not saying, oh, how can a grown man behave like a 10-year-old? That's because in that moment, he is a 10-year-old. Everything is reminding him of the experience which he had when he was 10. And this is why we must work internally through our own stuff, by our own selves. Get rid of that garbage that's sitting within us, blocking the flow of our energies, causing us fear and worry and anxiety to come up to the surface every time that our button is being pressed, and then robbing us of our happiness. So when a moment unfolds before you and you say, this is the way I see it, and I say, no, this is the way I see it, just realize that there's a possibility that none of us is right, because we're only seeing it based on our own perspective, based on the experiences that we've had in the past, based on that lens with which we are viewing it at that moment, and whether we've dealt with all our garbage from our past. If I draw a small lowercase g in the sand, from your angle, you can argue that it's a 6. And from another person's angle, they can argue that it's a 9. But for me, I drew a G in the sand. So we all develop these concepts in our heads, and rather than see it as it is, we see it as we are. It looks right to you because you've made it up in your mind that that's how it is. And it's wrong for me because it's against all of the concepts that I've built up in my mind. But when you begin to transcend from your personal self, from your selfish self, from your ego self, you realize why everyone is different in their understanding of things, because their concept of reality is different from yours, based on their experiences. And I've learned very quickly that the starting position when dealing with others is understanding. And if anything is going to change, it has to be me and how I choose to view other people and their views about the world, to learn to understand their point, despite it being completely different from mine. When we do this, we avoid all the arguments, all the conflicts with our partners, our friends, our work colleagues. You'll just realize that they are who they are, doing what they do, seeing life differently from you, because you haven't walked in their shoes, nor have you lived their lives. So how dare you want them to reason with you? The only reasoning that can happen is a mutual understanding of our differences and realizing that that's exactly what makes us unique individuals. There are no two people like you in this world. And that makes you very special. You should celebrate that, whilst also acknowledging and celebrating the uniqueness of other people as well. So until next time, take good care of yourself. And remember, you are special. Bye for now.